What is up, you guys? Dale here with a different version of the daily report. Now, recently I asked people to share their ideas or questions or thoughts about relationships in a series I called Ask Dale. So I posted that and people responded. And we do have a few questions that I will answer. Now, I want to make this clear. I am in no way giving advice. I think if I were to give advice, the best way to do it is face to face and not online because you don't really get the full story. You don't have the full context, and thus, if you advise someone to do something, you won't have the complete picture. You might be giving them bad advice based on their own context. You want to avoid doing that, or at least I do. I want to avoid doing that. What I'll be doing instead is I'll read some of these questions and I'll give my thoughts. I'll give my ideas, my opinion. Uh, am I telling you to do something? Not necessarily, but if you want to take whatever I'm saying as a reference for future behavior, then go ahead. And of course, if you like this content and others like it, please do subscribe to my channel, join the illustrious group of supporters, and I'll make sure to post more of this stuff if you guys find it interesting. All right, for Ask Dale, the first question from Acidic Cat. Poor cat. Okay, is it okay to be selfish in a relationship? Here's my thought about selfishness in a relationship. I think you need to take care of yourself always. Sometimes that means not being there because that's what self care entails. Sometimes that means maybe doing things that aren't necessarily good for the relationship. Should you just then always be looking out for yourself? Of course not. Because if you have that mindset, then you may not be ready for a relationship. But the opposite, I think, would be more harmful if you are the kind of person who just gives every time, who just gives willingly, unselfishly, and without taking care of yourself. Then I think that's also really bad in terms of like being in a relationship. So is it okay to be selfish? To a certain degree, I guess, insofar that it helps. I think that's the biggest thing, right? Insofar that it helps to be selfish. If it helps because it allows you to take care of yourself, then by all means, right? Okay, thanks, Acidic Cat. Hope that cat gets better. From Angry Peanut. What is it with these names? Angry Peanut. What is the underrated physical quality of a guy or a girl which you think should be noticed more? Um, Knees. Knees. Okay, from Burping Champ. Congratulations. Burping Champ says, or asks rather, how do you start the "Are we official" talk? Huh. I don't want to say that it should be understood. I think that sort of conversation is necessary. I think you need to have that clarity. You need to put that out there and, have it clear to all parties involved. Well, how do you know when it's time? There's actually no real good time to have that conversation. If you have that like 2 months, 3 months, 4 months into your relationship, it's really going to vary. And I think the biggest worry here is that if you have that conversation, does that scare someone off without being able to engage in said conversation? I think if that happens, then the person you're having that conversation with isn't ready and probably wouldn't be ready anytime soon. And if you're the one initiating the "Are we official" talk, then you might be the one who's ready already at this point, who's like looking to be in a relationship. Initiated at any time, I think, and the response or lack thereof should tell you a lot about the status of your relationship. Now, the question stands like, how do you start it? You just start it. Hey, we've been dating for some time, and I really like where this is going. I think one important question we need to talk about is, are we making things official? Also, what does that mean, even, right? Like, Does that mean telling each other's families? Does that mean changing like social media status? I don't know. But then that has to be agreed upon. Cool. So it's like a lot of other problems with relationships. It's just a matter of talking to each other, right? Charlie Horse asks, "How do I meet people online? Should I use dating apps?" Uh my experience has been it's better to find if you're looking to meet people online for dating, it's better to find communities because in that way you already have a shared interest. You don't need to like fumble around and try to find common ground. If you come from the same community, whether it be an interest group, if you went to school with a person, something, right? If you have that common ground, it's easier to find topics for conversation. It's easier to at least align on certain ideas. If you're like going in blind and using dating apps, there's still a lot of wading through and the process just gets more difficult. And the nice thing about like finding communities is that even if you don't find someone to be in a relationship with, then at least you still make friends, which is always a positive. However, if all you want to do is hook up, then yeah, sure, dating apps. Dating apps are like really useful for that. No judgment. Not saying that that's like bad or anything. It's just know what's more likely to happen in each platform. That being said, though, and I would like to correct myself again or clarify, I do know people who've gotten together over dating apps and have had like good relationships. So your mileage may vary, but it's more likely that you end up just finding a hookup on dating apps than finding a long-lasting relationships. And both are fine. I think like sometimes you just want to hook up, and sometimes you want to find the love of your life. That's okay. Fleabag Fanatic asks, I love that show. Fleabag Fanatic asks, should I get rid of my excess stuff? Okay, so clearly, if it's your excess stuff, don't just throw it away, right? Like, it's still property. So I would think that you'd want to, like, give it to them. However, if that is impossible, maybe they've relocated, maybe they don't want to see you, then sure, throw it out. Like, get rid of it. I'm a firm believer in so far as it helps. And I think getting rid of attachments, if you are of that mindset, if you are in that place that you're ready to get rid of attachments, this is a crucial step, getting rid of your excess stuff. Now, if we're talking about your excess gifts, then that gets a bit trickier. I wouldn't necessarily say that that's absolutely necessary because it's yours. It's not your ex's, it's yours. Sure, your ex gave it to you, but it's yours. If you letting go of these things helps you heal, then sure, go ahead. But some things are just functional, right? Like if my ex gave me a Switch, I'm not gonna throw away the Switch no matter how bad the relationship is. I might sell it. Like I'm not gonna throw it into the trash. Like last question from Forever Chameleon. Why did he leave me? Why did he cheat on me? I think this is where what I said earlier about giving advice really applies because I can't answer this question. I don't know anything about the relationship. I don't know anything about what happened, either person. I don't know anything about them. Often, when we ask this question, it's partly to understand, but also to validate ourselves, to tell ourselves that we are of value. Because if it's not clear why a person has left us, why a person chose to hurt us the way they did, if that's not clear, then there is inherent value in us. And that's reassuring. And I'd like to tell you that regardless of whether you're able to answer that question or not, there is inherent value in you. People do what they do because they think it's best for them, because they're motivated by self interest. And whether it be right or wrong in the moment or in the long term, why do they do the things that they do? I don't know. Maybe because they thought it was what's best for them. I hope forever chameleon, that you take the necessary steps to heal, to do what is best for you, because that's the only way, really, that you'll be able to understand. Okay, well, there's a lot more of these. And if you're interested in learning more, I'm going to post another video, another set of answers. Again, this has been Dale for the Daily Report. If you haven't done it yet, please leave a like on this video, subscribe, and share it with your friends. And I hope your day's going well.